Page 14, Prelude. It's a melody from an opera by Wagner. Very beautiful melody. At the top of the page, you're talking about overlapping the notes, the ledger lines and all. You see the way the grand staff works in the notes and the clef signs, treble and bass clef. Middle C's in the middle. And generally the notes below middle C and so forth, you'd get in the bass clef, and above it, you get in the treble clef. But you don't have to. You can get them in either clef. And that's what they're doing here at the top. You see the first note they show in the example at the top is middle C. And they're just going up, D, E, F, G, and they're showing all the ledger lines going up. Well, there's the same notes as what they're showing at the end of that line, this. Same notes. So you're liable to get them in either clef. You just need to be aware they're there. Sometimes it makes it easier to read the music, and sometimes, in my opinion, you should memorize all of the notes up to and including 3 ledger lines above or below either staff. And the reason I picked 3 ledger lines rather than anything else is because you can glance at 3 or 2 or 1 ledger line and you just instantly can see how many there are. You don't have to count them. And in my opinion, if you can glance at it and know how many there are, you just need to know what the note is. More than 3, I get confused. I'm not sure how many there are. I have to stop and count them. And if that's the case, then I have to figure it out. I'm not going to bother to memorize it because I got to figure it out anyway. Then I'll take a pencil and I'll write in the name of the note so I don't have to figure it out again. Because normally I don't write in names of notes in the music. You're expected to know them. But when they start using a lot of ledger lines here, now this is only going to 3, so we can still handle that. You have middle C is 1, and an E is 2, and G is 3. So you can memorize. Same thing with the treble clef going down. You get ledger lines below the treble clefs. So let's look this over. It's about a page long. Treble and bass clef signs again. 1 sharp in the key signature. We're either in the key of G major or E minor, because those are the keys with 1 sharp in the key signature. If I look at the end here, I'm ending in a G chord. I'm guessing we're in G major. However, I'm still going to do the scales for G major and E minor. You do it 1 octave up and down until you're comfortable with it. Do the trill exercise. Once you're comfortable with the scale and you can do the scales okay, then go ahead and do 2. But don't try and do 2 octaves if you can't do 1 very well. You're shooting yourself in the foot if you do that. Please take it slow and easy. Get it 1 octave well first before you go to 2. And then cut time, or 2-2 time, where a half note gets a count and a quarter note gets half a count. Oh, then it's fun because we got triplets and everything else going on. Well, when I go tackle a piece that's in cut time, I pretend it's in 4/4 time. And a quarter note gets a count, because that makes getting the rhythm easier. Then once I have it and I'm ready to take it up to speed or whatever, then I'll put it back in cut time. So I'm going to talk about this as though it's in 4/4 time for a while. Right hand first, we start 2 and 4 here. And remember the F sharp? It's in the key signature. So it's just quarter notes. 3. Oh, this is fun. And we're doing this for the first 2 lines. Third line, we come up here. They went 2 and 4 again. You don't really have to do it that way. You can if you want. Use same fingers if you want. But since these are repeated notes, I can change hand positions on repeated notes. Doesn't matter if there's more than 1. It's the third. So I could, at the beginning of this, I could reach up and do a 4/5 to start, and then 2/4. I could also do a 2/3 and a 2/3/5, 2/4. There's different ways of getting there. I don't have to go from 2/4 to 2/4. So I'm going to do, you pick whatever you want. Your teacher will help you. I'm going to go here, and for the second measure, the 3rd line, I'm just going to reach up a little finger here, and then go to 2/4. That's all. Not a lot of difference in it, but it's a good habit to get into, because in other pieces it does make a difference. And then the 4th measure over there, both sharps, just go up, and then 3/5, and then in the last measure, they don't need the natural signs. They're natural anyway, but they're being clear. Because you might think, oh, maybe they made a mistake and they meant sharps, because you got a D sharp in the bottom staff. So they're being clear. So it's good to be clear. If you're writing it, music or whatever, don't just assume they're going to know the rule, because they may question whether, is that really what you wanted? So be clear, put it in. So in the third line, last measure, natural sign. Here. The last line, second measure, you're going back up. You're just staying in this position. And the fourth measure of F sharp, if you don't want to go here, then go to second finger. And then G. Yeah. Not hard rhythm-wise, they're mostly quarter notes. It's the left hand. Triplets, 4 and a 1. 4 and a 1. I use fourth finger on the F sharp because the chord is that, and that's the fingering that I use and teach. That's what I was taught, so that's what I do. A lot of people do use 3 and 1. But I prefer 4 and 1, so that's what I do. I'm going to use a 4. 4 and a 4 triplet. 4, 1, 2, 3. And the dotted rhythm, 4E and a 4E and a. Just make sure that 16th note is short. Don't make it a triplet. That's a triplet. Ba, 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 ba. No, it's a triplet at the beginning, but then we want it crisp. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, rest. Again. You can do a 4, 3. I do a 4. 1, 2, 3. 2. Now the third line with all these ledger lines. So you're here and you're 4 and a 1. 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. Remember the F sharps, it's in the key signature. 2 and 3 and 2. Then scrunch up second finger. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 2. Thumb here and 2, 1. Then what thumb again? Well, if you want to connect it, you got to, pretty much. I don't like using 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, but sometimes we kind of need to. And here it looks like this one of those times. We need to. Then I try to put the hands together and see what happens. Well, in the second measure, at the end of it, they're together here. Here. And these quarter notes, keeping the beat will help a little, I think. 1, 2, 3. The idea. So go through and put the hands together very slowly and carefully, and then go back over it however many times, slowly and carefully, and get rid of the hesitations. So these quarter notes in the right hand are steady. Then we can think about the articulation. Here it's pretty connected. I would connect all that together. They've got slurs going on. I disagree. I would connect all of that. Keep in mind, these aren't really phrases. They're indicating they're slurs. And a phrase you lift up before and after it, but a slur you don't necessarily. You're just connecting the notes within the slur. So just connect these. You're lifting up for the rest. That gives you your phrasing. Then once I have an idea of the articulation, then I'll think about the dynamics. And this is loud. F at the beginning is forte. We want to hear the melody. So when this comes in, this is loud. And this got to go back in the background. Well, you're loud to start, and all of a sudden you go down. Can you do that? Well, there are different ways of interpreting this. I could start loud and then put it in minuet. One way of doing it. Another way is to stay loud and then all of a sudden drop down. Because we want to hear the melody. Another way of doing it is just make the left hand loud and the right hand start that out sort of loud. Then you don't have to change it much. And the whole thing is pretty loud. all the way through. And then the speed. Well, this is where I got to put it back in cut time. We want to feel it in 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 2. You get the idea? 1, 2, 1, 2. And the 1, 2 isn't necessarily fast. It says vivace, which is quick. Not as quick as presto, but quick. And it's the overall feel of this is... That's where your vivace is going to be. It's not the beat. 1, 2. It's not always... You can find recordings of this. Listen to the orchestras play it. You get the idea of what it is. In my opinion, we don't need to take this vivace right now. I don't know why this is in this book at this point, because this is a bit challenging. I think we just slow it down here. So you go ahead and learn it, get rid of the hesitations, and when you feel you're ready, slowly, let's play it together and check that you have all the right notes and rhythms. I'm going to do this in 4/4 time now, so I'll give us 4 quarter notes to come in. 1, 2, ready, go. Off.